So it was so important to put out this second edition. I spent 3.5 months editing myself. And I mean, the editors did a great job to begin with, but I had to update it and I had to make it more relevant and more current. And, right in the ink's not even dry on the second edition. And this Clarence Thomas from the Supreme Court gets caught taking all these perks, which is what I specifically outline in this book. These perks that they distort into a sense of entitlement. And it is so many ways of wrong. And this man, as a judge, will never get charged. I will almost guarantee you that. Every judge locally that gets popped here in Michigan, with the exception of Judge Bronson back in 1980 or something like that. Excuse me, 1990. He got caught taking bribes and he went out to his barn and he blew his fucking brains out, because he got caught red-handed. When you're with the judge, it's just one-on-one. There's nothing recorded, there's nothing taped. It's just you and the judge. And there is no one, in this book industry, is very highly competitive, anything you write about nonfiction. However, in my case, there's no competition because no one's writing about it. So why not be the first? I've been the first at a lot of things. And why not hold that superlative loud and proud? I mean, some of the stuff I own, I don't condone. I mean, like drugs. I did drugs in the past. I own it. I don't condone it. Wouldn't tell your kids to do it. But, I did. So it's part of the story. However, when people ask me, well, you're around all this criminal activity. Yeah, I was a criminal defense lawyer. But yeah, I hung out with mob guys. And yeah, I hung out with criminals. So you mean you weren't involved in any of this? You didn't bribe anybody? I didn't have to. I mean, you can never underestimate the jealousy of some of these other lawyers. These are things that have been happening to me for my whole career. I've had attacks from other jealous lawyers because they didn't have the balls to live the lifestyle I did. It's just that simple. I went out and did what I wanted to do, and I'm not proud of everything I did, but I'm not ashamed either. I mean, if I had to do it over again, knowing I could get away with it, I'd still do it worse. I don't know, or better. I don't know what the word is. But, just the truth shall set you free. It's a freeing experience. See, I never got to talk about none of this. I never talked about money with my first two wives. I never said a word about money to anybody other than my accountant. But yet it's the first 3 lines in my book. So when you're writing, things just come out that are just pent up. And I figured, if I got to be the one to break the code of silence in this inner circle, I mean, it is so, it's like fucking Valachi coming up. See, Valachi got a book deal, man, back in when he was in a cold Michigan prison. That's Milan prison, by the way. And and he just couldn't write. The guy couldn't put a sentence together, So they did the Valachi papers. And somebody else made $1 million off of them. Look, I'm not out to make another million, but it really wouldn't hurt. I'd like to get a little well, but I'd like to get my beak wet, all right? But, I mean, some of this stuff, somebody else says, hey, you're a gangster, you're a gangster, you're a gangster. So after a while, you're a gangster. I mean, when somebody calls you a horse, you say, what? And the second person says it the same day, you scratch your head. And the third person says it, you better settle up, man. You're a horse. Okay, so I'm the consigliere to the Detroit mob. I mean, come on, man. I think there's only been 2 consiglieres here in Detroit, 2 or 3. I don't even know them. Really, I know the Jackalonians, I know the Tocos. I don't think I even know anybody from the Zarellis, unless maybe came across them, I don't know. But I do know the relationship to the Italians and the Polish. I mean, we're all Catholic here, and it's not hard to understand. So, like I stated, the ink was not even dry on the second edition of my book. And all of a sudden, all over the news, here's Clarence Thomas, a Supreme Court justice. Here's a congressman, George Santos, who are all over the news taking perps. One's criminally charged. The judge's never going to get criminally charged. They have too many connections. That's just the way it works. And it's amazing to me because it's exactly what I state, from the lower levels to the higher levels. This is not unique to Detroit, Michigan, or Macomb County. My research tells me Chicago and LA are worse. And I love Chicago. I do have a little experience in Chicago. I got way more experience in New Orleans. And that is, in fact, the birthplace of Cosa Nostra. There is no mafia in this country, never been. But Cosa Nostra was the birthplace in New Orleans. Now, you have to tie that into how corrupt the FBI is, though, man. And ultimately, you have to. Yeah, I understand from doing all the fact checking and updating the second edition of my book. When I wrote this, Clarence Thomas from the Supreme Court and Congressman George Santos had not even happened yet. Yet I explain in detail in my book how this works. And it's the same on every level of government, especially within the inner secret circles of the court, the soft white underbelly of your politicians. I was there, I sat with them, I was a trusted member. Well, they may have trusted the wrong guy because I am no longer sitting on this code of secrecy and silence and all this other nonsense because I did a prison term to protect these people, these kinds of people, because they claim to be my friends. Now, when I'm a friend with someone, I'm a friend to do or die forever, you know. That's the code I was brought up on, you know. They want to call these mob guys bad. They're Boy Scouts compared to these other people, okay? Hey, thanks for taking the time out of your day for watching this video. Please be sure to like this video and to subscribe to the channel for more videos.